Hey, what's up, fam? And welcome back again to Recap Kickback. It's me, your host, Chappell, and I am here with a special edition of Recap Kickback. Today, we are going to be talking about a show that I've been dying to watch and finish for a very long time. I finally got around to it. I watched The Wire, y'all, and with me, I have a expert on The Wire, somebody who's a big fan, who's been waiting on me to finish this so he could talk about it. It's Lester Freeman himself, James Jones from Survivor. What's up, James?
What's up, Chappell? I'm just happy to allow me on your platform. I'm excited. I'm Lester Freeman today. I'm gonna follow the money, and I'm gonna find out what happened. We're gonna figure this the wire thing out. Did you enjoy it, Chappell? Did you enjoy it?
Look here. This is my show. I'm gonna ask the questions here, James. But I do want to thank you for being here. You definitely, because I felt like when I was watching The Wire, I wanted to talk to people about it, but I'm also 20 years late. So I felt kind of awkward being like texting people, being like, hey man, do you see this in season two? And so I had to really like focus on like, okay, just watch the show, enjoy it. I'm sure you'll have a lot of feelings, but I think I posted about it on Instagram or something like that. Is that how you found out I was watching the show?
I think it was Twitter. Like I feel like you were around like season 2, 3-ish, and it was getting good, and it was like it's either and it was like, all right, this is the point where I get where you're at. You're like, I can't because someone's going to slip up. I know someone's going to ruin something for me, and I was just like, enjoy. Like you're going to want to talk after 4, but just let me let you cook.
Okay. Well, James, I finished the entire show. I think we were gonna do like a mid-season series check-in, but then, like you said, it got kind of good. So I mean, I didn't really have time to stop down and talk about it. I was like, I can finish this in the next couple days. So I did, and I do have a lot of thoughts. But James, I have to know, what is it about The Wire that really drew you in? What makes you the Wire expert that you are here today? Because I see you have a book as well. You wrote
Oh,
this book?
so no, I didn't. All the pieces matter. It was a book that was written and it's based off all the words, interviews done by Wire characters, firsthand producers, and the story writers. So they put this book together after the series. I believe it was like 20 years after the series closed. Called All the Pieces Matter. So basically, they go back and talk about the production, the character development, how they were working with Baltimore, like how real it was out there, different stories that people have seen in different documentaries or different kind of when different actors talk about it. So I did that. I had the box set. I look young, but I had the box DVD set, and that was a great way to like get somebody locked in with you because before on demand you had that DVD, and I had it.
Mhm.
That was currency right there.
So you got the box set after the show aired. I'm assuming, did you watch it while it was on? I know you're older than you look, but were you watching The Wire in 2002?
So I watched part of The Wire in 2002. My mom was hooked on The Wire. My mom loved The Wire. So when I came
Mhm.
home from school, because I was in college back then, it'd be like, oh, this show called The Wire. I'm like, oh, all right, bet. So I saw some of it, and then I think around like when season 3 came out, when everybody hated season 2 and season 3 came out, on demand was really there. So that I could go
Mhm.
back to the on demand HBO and catch up. And then I watched season 4 real time because that was just, 4 and 5, you just watch real time. It just kind of and it changes as you get older. When you're younger, you watch it. Now you're like, wow, this is crazy. Like, why does it still apply? Like
So
you
you
watch
were
it 20 years later and it still applies.
Yeah, no, I have so many thoughts about The Wire through a 2025 lens. So I'm definitely happy to figure out what you thought about it through like, a '05 lens basically. So, like the show drops in 2002. For the people who have not watched The Wire, James, can you give us a quick rundown on what the show is about?
The show explores Baltimore on from a like different levels of the Baltimore from drug street level drugs. Then you go to the police who are going after the drugs. So imagine Law and Order, right? But it's on steroids with better writing and better acting and like a real grittiness to it. So you have your criminals that you fall in love with because you develop empathy because you understand why they're doing what they're doing. Right, you see the circumstances that they're coming from. You have the police officers, which you get empathy for too. You see they're human too. They have things they're dealing with that's going on. And then you see the overall system of politics and how that influences how the policing happens and impacts on the street. So you get to see kind of the layers of how the government or the government in this world, Baltimore, works, how a law passed here or this person being, the president or in charge of the police impacts policy, or this politician versus politician, how that politician relationship impacts policy. And that's still true today. So for me, it was fascinating. It's my first time kind of getting a, like, you think this is a fictional like story, which it is, but then you realize that it has a lot of basis in reality, and this is how things work.
Yeah, and was the show based off of real characters? I was reading somewhere that a lot of the characters are like either pieces of other characters put together from real life, like whether it's cops that are that are real cops that worked in the Baltimore area, or even sometimes real criminals and drug addicts.
Oh yeah, so they actually had one of the more famous criminals from Baltimore in the show. The guy that Cuddy went to, the pastor, the preacher, I think it's in season 3 or season 4. He was a real life in the streets guy. But David Simon, they used to do like his partner in writing used to write in Baltimore and Baltimore Crime Beat. So a lot of the characters, even the thing with regards to the phone and the beeper, is all things that are taken from actual cases. So you do have agglomeration. I said that word wrong.
Amalgamation. No, it's a hard word to say.
And yeah, so a lot of those characters are that of people, but some of them are kind of right there too. But yeah.
Yeah, so I was watching it, and the whole time I was thinking the character building is really what stood out to me for The Wire. My whole life, people have been talking about The Wire is this great show, and I've tried to watch The Wire before. It's not like, okay, I waited until 2025 to sit down and watch it. It's just that every time I tried to start it, for some reason, I would get, I'm saying this, and it's going to sound really bad when I say it, but for some reason, I would get in season 2, and I would just like get stuck there, and it wasn't that I wasn't enjoying season 2. It's just like there were just the things that would happen outside my power. And I'd be like, all right, I'll come back to it later on. And so I finally was like, no, you have to get through this season. You have to get through the show. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. But the people would always talk about how it's one of the best shows of all time. Like they rank it up there with Breaking Bad and The Sopranos, which I'm currently watching. And I think even there were times where Game of Thrones was in that conversation. Personally, I don't think Game of Thrones can sit with The Wire and these other shows too, but that's a me thing. But one of the things that stood out to me definitely was the way The Wire builds around these characters is so good to where it's like you don't need a lot of exposition. You sit with the characters in their day-to-day so much to where you really start to kind of like connect with whoever they are, whether it's drug dealer or cop. Sometimes it's really hard to connect with both of those. Those are two different polarizing sides. And, right. Through The Wire, I felt like I was rooting for both of them at different times.
Yeah, and it's interesting. What you'll notice in The Wire too is that they'll have the cops and criminals at different parts of the seasons saying the same things to each other. Mm-hmm. Like the game is the game. Like, so for instance, when Daniels is trying to go up the ranks, and his wife, before he gets the divorce, he's sleeping on the couch. She's playing the game too. They got generals and lieutenants that they're trying to answer to, just like the criminals, have to answer to Avon and Stringer, and it's the same thing that they kind of. But as you see both sides of it, and that's the beauty of The Wire and why people gravitate to it, because you sit with Bubbles. You like Bubbles, like you know who that guy mm-hmm. is. You when Kima gets shot, you're like, yo, like you're not expecting that. You're feeling what's going on.
Yeah, I felt every part of it. It's like just because The Wire spent so much time with these people just living life. It doesn't feel like I necessarily need to get a flashback. Like I didn't need to know where Kima was born, like all that other stuff. You kind of just learn it throughout the show, and it does such a good job. But you're right. There were definitely times where you could see the parallels in a lot of these characters with some of the stuff that they were saying, with how they were acting, with how they died a lot of times, or a lot, how they got fired, whatever the case may be. You could see it reflected across the way. And I don't think I noticed that in the moment. I think when the season would be over, I would kind of be like that Weebay gif where I'm like, oh my God, like swear, like I felt like that was my experience watching The Wire, where it hit me harder. The moment I was done, I liked the show more than while I was watching it. Does that make sense?
No, it was going to make more sense. Is I used to watch this series once a year. I had the box set. We didn't have on demand back then. So like watching this once a year, when you go back and you may just choose your favorite like just season, and you're going to see so much little nuance and detail from like, oh, in the background, Lester is doing this. Oh, Cheese Wagstaff. So whatchamacallit is Cheese's son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Randy. Yeah.
so they put they give you all these little nuggets like about like these things that are happening that you pick up on only if you watch it the second time. You're like, that's who that is. Or you see Landsman's in the gay bar with it's these little things you miss out on. You're like, like all these little things that are at play that's happening right now.
Yeah, the moment I was done, it took so much like in my I guess restraint to not go to YouTube and just dive in, because I got on YouTube and I immediately see thousands of videos and hours of people just breaking down like they're watching the Wire footage like it's the NFL game day, and they're breaking each scene down, each character down, and all these different just these I guess these just like theories and crazy like plot turns. And I was like, man, I'm not ready. I said I wanted to save myself for this conversation, so I didn't come in loaded with a bunch of misinformation from YouTube because people were taking it really far.
Oh yeah, I think the thing about The Wire that's really dope too is you can talk to 10 different people and they have 10 different favorite characters. And that's like rare for a show. Like where literally someone can have Bubbles, someone can have Naaman as a favorite character. It could be their favorite, could be horseradish on the sandwich, yo. Like Avon, Stringer, like you can name 15 people characters in the show that like some people may just love Bodie. That's what how he stood. See, some Charles is people's favorite. Like it's kind of you can name every character, like you said. You feel like you don't know how they came up. They came out of nowhere. But you like Cuddy didn't have a backstory. He just came out.
I was locked in. Yeah, I was locked in. Cuddy showed up, and I was like, "All right, Cuddy, what are we about to do?"
He got the crazy eyes. He like,
yeah. James, I enjoyed this show so much, and then I go like about 2/3 of the way in, I'm thinking, well, damn, they must have. Okay, here's the moment it really happened. I'm sitting there watching, and one of the characters acting his ass off. I'll get to who it is later on, but I go and I look it up, and I'm like, this man clearly has won an Emmy for best supporting actor. The show has won. James, these people didn't win no awards. They ain't get them nothing.
Oh, so in the time, so like people, so like by the time The Wire got like popular, it was like when season 3 dropped. I think there was like a lull and when stuff was happening, and everybody's able to watch it. So we're like, oh. But then he had this gangster behind season 3. And then season 4 coming with the kids, and everybody's crying. Like everybody's crying, and they're like, and there's still no Emmy noms, right? And everybody's like, but here's the thing: it's on HBO. It's right after The Sopranos. Like, it's literally a cognitive dissonance that, and I think a lot of times people that watch the show had the same reaction you have. They're going through it, and then they think back, oh wow. After they sit back and actually, but no nominations for nobody. Like you would think that some like a Omar man got one, a Stringer, even a McNulty, he had the British accent. Like somebody, a Wendell a Bunk, like some like supporting guest appearance. Somebody, Brother Moves on guest appearance. So the same, but that's part of the reason why it has that renegade spirit, because it didn't get the recognitions that the Breaking Bad's got, that the Soprano, not this, and they're all different shows. I mean, I think The Wire is by far the best, but that's just me. But it didn't get any of those like even nominations or even the pity nom like during its heyday. And in season 5, it got like nominated for best something or whatever. Like, and by that point, everybody's like, "Did you not see like how?" But that's also the world. When you're looking at art and we're like, who are the tastemakers and all this other stuff? But eventually the cream comes to the top. Like how season 43 will be remembered as the best season of Survivor. And I'm lying, I'm joking. But
I mean, it has risen in the rankings in the new era for sure. Like the more seasons there are, the season 43 is climbing up. I think of 2 seasons right now that's right below it for sure. But James, why do you think that is? Why do you think that The Wire in real time did not get the awards and critical acclaim that it now has, like the irreverence that I see people talking about it with?
I feel like it takes a certain level of, you have to actually concentrate when you watch. Like you actually have to sit there and actually watch the show. Like, because like if you literally miss one scene, you're not going to understand what happened. Like if you miss the Bunk Omar scene because you on your phone or doing something on the couch, you don't know what's happening like in the show. So you actually had to watch the show. then you had to actually be able to understand a little bit what was happening in the show and have a cultural understanding to kind of see what was happening in the show. You're like, okay, and I think it just needed time. It needed time to amass people. I feel like the nerd culture really like kept it going, where it's kind of the Reddits weren't, I don't know if they're really out there, but like you said, you went on YouTube, it's there.
Yeah.
People that looked at every episode, they're like, yo, there's Wire tours. You can go to Baltimore and visit places in the Wire.
Like this is now.
And I think part of that adds to the lore when everybody's like, I'm on this and y'all not on this. And then when when someone's on, it's that good. It's that good. It's like you putting somebody on a recommendation to a Philly restaurant that I didn't do when you came here, which I apologize and I take full responsibility for. If I put you on that spot and you go in that joint, you like, and you walk out like, you're like, yeah, Jay got it. It's like that's what you know. When you tell somebody to watch The Wire, you know what you coming back with. They're gonna be like, man.
Yeah, they put me on. Yeah, yeah. I was sitting there watching it and I was thinking, okay, maybe it's because the cast is like, there's so much blackness in the cast, right? It's O2, it's not really a spot for prestige black television at the time. But the thing is, kind of
recent.
No, not in television terms. We've come so far. Like this is the start of prestige television. And to start with a black show, and I say black in quotation marks because it's really not. It's like there are moments where it's really black, right? Like some of the subject matter and some of obviously the stuff that's going on with the people in the community. But then there's storylines that are built around the cops. Some of the cops being black, but some of them not. A lot of the politics we'll see with the mayoral race and things of that nature. And then, of course, season 2 at the docks. So it's not necessarily a black show, but I couldn't shake the feeling that maybe if it wasn't so black, it could have gotten a few more eyes on it.
I think the most popular characters were black. I think people came out like, I think you had the wow factor in actors. Season 1 wasn't McNulty or wasn't like, the DA. It was like how Avon is moving. Like you ain't never seen someone move like Avon moved on television. Like no one like Wood Harris. People think Wood Harris is Avon. Like no one's moved like that on television. You didn't see anybody move like an Omar on television. You ain't seen a Prop Joe on television. Like you ain't seen a Greek. Like it's just kind of like these people moved a certain, like it was a certain it was filmed in Baltimore. Like you knew it was in Baltimore. It was a feeling you got from it. Like I feel you get attached to the street characters. And it's like you don't get attached to the cops until you get a little more of their humanity. You're like, okay, McNulty, I see where you're coming from. Bunk, I see where you're coming from. Like you're not banging with Daniels until season 4. Like you're like, who is this dude? Like you don't fall in love with Lester until season 3. We like Lester got the baddie. Like wait, you what? The CI.
Yeah. You making good points. Because I didn't know if that was just me, a black man, watching this show and like naturally gravitating to that, or like like maybe it was just like the cops and stuff like that are less compelling. It's a really big swing to be like, hey, we're gonna show you the gritty side of the police as well. Like it's easy to paint all the people in the hood and the drug dealers and the gangsters as bad people because a lot of them are doing bad things. But then to make the swing and say, all right, we're going to show you the cops, but this isn't, like you said, this isn't Law and Order. You know what I'm saying? These cops, they in there busting heads, like sometimes they doing bad things and they're getting away with it, or they're like, standing by their fellow cop, and like, when they do bad things, instead of throwing them under the bus, they go, so it's like to show that is really to show an honest view of both sides. And to me, I just couldn't imagine a world where people would be okay with both sides. Like if we made The Wire today, people be like, this woke shit, get this off the air. You know what I'm saying? Anti-cop, you know what I'm saying? Y'all hate America.
Everything. We do more to sell drugs. We don't just sell drugs. We sell other things too.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it would be crazy. And so the fact that it was able to be such a massive hit and to, last this long in the conversation for one of the greatest shows of all time, I think is very cool. So I'm happy that I got to watch it all.
I think other thing, I feel like it pushed boundaries when it came to like everything in culture, for at least for black people watching the show. Meaning like you had a a gay guy that was in there, like, and you had to have that conversation, like it made the culture at the time have those conversations. You know, you had Kima, what she was going through, and they had the kid. It's like you had these things that weren't necessarily the focal points, but like you knew Omar loved Brandon. You ain't question that you ain't question that Omar was a G either. Like you ain't question, and for a lot of people, maybe the first time, that's the first time them seeing that representation like that, and it allows them to open up, to be more open to people like that. Remember, it's 2022, like 2002. I mean, like, it isn't, the world isn't real woke. Woke is so a lot of things The Wire did was revolutionary. Like even having white people selling drugs, like
they were doing
always like the mafia, but you don't sell them doing hand to hands doing coke. You ain't never seen that.
Right. It feels like a really gritty representation that apparently people were really able to latch on to. James, we talked about the show in broad strokes, but I did that on purpose because I want to get into some spoilers for the people who, if you haven't watched The Wire, we didn't spoil too much of it for you. I think you still enjoy it. Also, huh?
It's such a good host. I didn't even know what you was doing there.
Stop it. Listen, go watch The Wire if you haven't already seen it, because now we're about to talk about some of James's opinions about The Wire as well as mine, and talk about some of these big moments, because like I said, it's a really good show. I don't think it got the love in the real time that it deserved, but right now people sing its praises throughout. I enjoyed it, and hopefully you will too. And so come back and let us know here in the comments here on YouTube. That's recapkickback.com/subscribe for the podcast, and youtube.com/@recapkickback for our comment section. That said, James Jones, who is your favorite character on The Wire?
Yo, I'm gonna go with Lester Freeman, man. Like, I feel like you had to go with cop and you had to go with criminal. I feel like The Wire is built that way. We had to go cop and criminal, and I feel like Lester, he was he always was right for the most part. He bagged the baddest joint in the series, quite possibly.
Yeah.
And he didn't leave the office that often.
He didn't leave the office that often.
Like he stayed perfectly safe. He stayed perfectly safe. He solved all the. He was sitting there with a pension doing like figurines because he was made. Like I feel like he's like the representation of he's what The Wire is. That's like probably my favorite character. Like he's smart. He's on the dime. He's unassuming, but he got respect though. You ain't gonna try him. Like he's like everything that I admire in a person.
I like Lester Freeman because throughout, like you said, I really wasn't checking for Lester. He was there, but his like, oh, I'm tinkering with my deal. Like he came from like this other unit, and now he's getting his chance to like be a detective again. And it's like, I was like, all right, Lester, whatever. Like there's bigger things going on. But then slowly you realize, like, no, this thing doesn't go off without Lester. You know what I'm saying? Like the wiretap doesn't work without him literally being able to meticulously listen to all that footage and to go through all of that and to just be methodical with his approach. And so, yeah, by the end, I'm like, man, Lester really cooked the season up, So that's a good choice.
What about you?
See, this is hard because like I haven't sat with the characters as long as you have. And wait, oh no, pause. Before we even get to me, you still haven't told me who your favorite criminal is.
Yo, like, so this is the thing. Like, I feel like it's so me. My favorite criminal isn't a good criminal. Like, he's not good at it, but he does it. Like, I feel like I'm gonna have to. This is a dark horse for everybody, but I gotta go with Bodie, man. Like Bodie, like
okay,
Bodie just stood strong. He represents so much of potential of somebody that could probably do almost anything, right? But just because of his circumstances, had to do what he had to do. And he's kind of like, I think he's the character that if you don't know anything about the culture or anything, that you can like for those seasons that he's on the show, like you can really be like. You see his transition and the evolution of kind of what happens in the life, like how high you can get, how low you can get, what you had to do to get to those positions. Like, see, every season he's on the show, he does something that makes you feel. Every single season, that's what makes you feel. So yeah, if I had to choose one, that's a dark horse, but I'm going with Bodie.
I definitely understand the decision right there. Bodie was a fun journey for me to watch because. You're right. I was riding with Bodie from like day one, like very early on. You're like, okay, he holding it down. He's doing like, he's not getting out the game. So wash that away. He's going to be here.
I got to take that back.
Oh, you changed your mind?
I got to take that back. It's
what
Chris. It's Chris. It's Chris Farlow. It's Chris Parlow.
Okay.
A man
Tell me
of little
why. Why
words.
Chris Parlow?
A man of little words and a lot of action. Just little, just like like he's the character that says the least that you're the most scared of. He just comes onto the scene and you know it's his instant death. He stood on business. And he went to jail with Weebay and it was like, yo, they compare body counts. Like, it's just like he was just a G. Chris Parlow was just it was just on. And he had a protected nature about him. Like, he was really trying to protect Mike. Like, it was just like Chris Parlow was that bull. Like,
fine. I take the Bodie answer over Chris because like I was saying, Bodie, from day one, you with Bodie. Chris don't really show up until the end. Like what is it, season 4 and 5 where he really comes into prominence.
He actually was a cop season 1. It's funny if you go back, he was an extra as a cop. And he liked him so much he auditioned for one of the roles. And he was a cop extra episode 1 sitting in the joint. It's a little known footage. I don't know why people don't know. I don't know why I know this stuff, but I do.
See, I knew I couldn't trust this man. He was a cop. No, I'm joking. So for me, I didn't get to sit with him as long. We don't get as many character moments. Like you say, he's a man of few words. He's a stone cold killer. But he does have some human traits. The stuff with Michael is very cool. The fact that he kind of gets caught up because he gets emotional in the in the killing of Michael's stepdad or whatever. Like that's the stuff that really humanizes him as a character, but also shows like his flaw, right, as a character. But to me, I'm sorry, I have to keep going back to Bodie. I just think that like since day one, you kind of watch him and he does like in a way rise in the ranks, right? He's learning the game, but then eventually he just becomes another victim to it. He thinks he's above it. It's all fun and games when he's at the top of the pecking order along with, Avon and Stringer and all of them, and he's moving up. But then, once Marlo comes in, it's like, Bodie is a different sheriff in town.
The needle drop when Marlo first comes onto the scene is wild when you go back and watch. Like you just know. Like, who hops out of Baltimore, hops out a truck with a golf club, bro?
Marlo really flipped the show on its head. For seasons, to me, it felt like, okay, this is the story of Stringer Bell, right? This is the story of Avon Barksdale. And then about season 3 and season 4, it starts to shift. You're like, no, it's not. This is the story of Baltimore, and it doesn't matter who is at the top because there's always going to be somebody else coming for that spot. And all of a sudden now you're in Marlo's show. And it feels like to me, the show kind of like is like, it's almost like you're losing control of the show. The people that to be in charge are no longer in charge. It's like, you're kind of like, what's happening? When are they going to get this dude out of here? Spoiler alert, they really don't. They really don't get him out of here. But eventually it's safe to say that, he's not going to go off and live happily ever after and like start, it seems like he's kind of locked into the game and what it brings. But Marlo's another good character. I think if I had to figure out like who my favorite cop is, that's tough. I mean, you made a really good like case for Lester Freeman, but my favorite character, cop, criminal, whoever, Clay Davis. The Clay Davis.
I forgot about this guy, yo.
Isaiah Whitlock is the reason why I was like, oh, I know this man got an Emmy. I got on Wikipedia just because of him. 4 seasons in, I hadn't thought twice about Emmys or anything. I see this man, he's on the radio show, and they got him against the wall, and he goes full Martin Luther King in there, like, and they try, I take money. Yeah, I take a little money, but I'm giving out the money while I'm walking down the street, and they know all the stuff I've done for them, and I'm sitting there like, I know this man, like, give him something, give him an NAACP Image Award or something. The man was acting. I ain't never seen nothing like that from Isaiah Whitlock before. Impeccable.
And the thing about the thing about The Wire that people like that happens too. You see these characters like Isaiah Whitlock, and then and everything else they're in, they're just phenomenal too. But I forgot about Clay Davis. Like Clay Davis, like being a part of every, like literally they had a bag going down. Like you saw that Ashley Larry get the bag, and he's like, "Can you give me my money back?" It's kind of like. It's everything in politics that no one wants to say happens that we know happens. Like we know that you get a payoff somehow, somewhere, how it happens. Some people more blatant than others. We may have somebody in the Oval Office that may be Clay Davis adjacent. It may be a precursor. It's just like, but yeah, I that's why The Wire is so great. Like literally, Clay Davis, a guy who may be on the screen, but when he's there, he out there, he hitting, he's swinging.
Yeah. I did at first. I'm like, I didn't even know if I could root for somebody like Clay Davis because he's so crooked. He's so awful. Throughout, I'm like, dang, like it's very clear that he's about to rob Stringer Bell. Like it's so obvious to everybody except Stringer Bell.
But that's perfect though. Like I think that's another thing about The Wire, where it's like you're the king of this world. You're the king of the streets. Like you run the streets. This is a whole different. And it's like he had lined them up good. You gotta race, crawl, walk, run. How many people has he said that to? Like he has said that to how many drug dealer politicians?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's treating them like a donor. He just and Stringer's like, yeah, you gotta pay the guy off. That's what you do, right?
Oh, just so dumb. Can we talk about? Let's talk about Stringer Bell. Let's talk about it.
Were you happy he died?
Absolutely. I'm not. I just. That's a character that I love to hate. I did not like Stringer Bell throughout. I was waiting on this man's downfall, and I was annoyed that it was taking so long. There were so many moments where I'm like, they got him, and he would just slide by at the skin of his teeth. Like he was just handing his life to people and just so stupid about it.
He was messing with the dudes, like he was messing with Avon's nephews.
Why you have to mess with D baby mama, bro? Why you have to do that? You ain't have to mess with her. That's when he lost me. And from there, I was just waiting on his downfall. And when I tell you his downfall was glorious, I was fist pumping. I was like, they got him. They got him. Because he's so dumb. But I think the reason why he's dumb to me, why it's annoying, is because he thinks he's smarter than everybody else in the room. He's in the courtroom with his stupid glasses on and his suit, taking notes and shit. I'm like, bro, you playing make-believe, bro. You just for the streets like everybody else is. Like, stop acting like you better. You're not bigger than the program, And
but the series kind of gets characterized if he's not there, right? McNulty doesn't have to go, isn't going off on the whole organization is there supporting for some reason. Like, it's kind of like, okay, the conspiracy is here. We're going to all visit this guy in court to show our support. Like, no, you don't do that. Then we have a picture of Avon. That's how nice this guy is at crime. Like, this guy is so nice. They don't have a picture of this guy. Like,
they've never seen him.
And Stringer is in court sitting behind the nephew. Like, arrogance from the beginning, and arrogance is what typically makes cops mad at you. It's not doing their job. Like they're going to, but when you make them mad, that's when they really going to look into you. And that's what he did.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. He was just poking and prodding at people, and they were all just getting closer to him. Nobody got closer than my boy Omar. Now you talked about Omar a little bit as like a groundbreaking character. He's a homosexual and also a thug at the same time, and not just any thug. Like he's a big bad wolf. Omar walked the streets and kids go running and screaming like, Omar coming. This man walking down the street in his robe, going to the grocery store, going to the bodega up the street, and people like, hey, Omar coming. He has no intention of doing crime. He's just going to get a glass of milk, a jug of orange juice, some apple juice. And they know not to mess with this man. Omar was probably, to me, I guess, one of like the most tragic stories watching The Wire, because I was like, I wanted to root for him so bad. He kind of has like this like Robin Hood type feel to him. Like, oh yeah, I robbed from the bad guys. So you're like, all right, whatever. But he was fighting for love. The guy Brandon got murdered, and so Omar is like on a tear throughout the rest of the season. But by the time we get to the end, I'm like, yeah, I don't know when, but it seems like the clock is running out on him. And the way he died, James,
bruh,
my mouth was on the floor. I like
that was everybody real time, because real time people was watching. Like people was like, oh, like you feel like you think he's going to get got, because everybody on the show gets got. You kind of don't
everybody,
but then you But then you go back like, oh, that person got him. and it makes sense. But I was like, why is this little person around? He's like, where are his parents? Where are
Right.
his parents?
And that's like the true tragedy, right? It's like Kennard kills Omar. Okay, you could be sad about that. Omar is also a murderer and also not a great person. So whatever, you could be sad about the death of Omar, but shouldn't you be more sad about the death of Kennard? He just killed this man. Like this kid is in the system, from now. Like he must have been what, 8?
He didn't know this man. Like, he didn't know this man. He just knew
he
was
looked
Omar.
he looked confused when he shot him. Like, oh shit, the gun killed him. That's crazy.
It worked.
This kid, the whole life is gone. He's like, now he's in the system. He's never going to bounce back from this. You don't murder somebody in cold blood and get caught and just go back to living a normal life. He's now a part of this vicious cycle that we're seeing throughout, where these people grow up in the system. They might get out, but they have nowhere else to go. What job is he going to get? We saw Cuddy get out of jail, and where did he go? Straight to the streets, because that's all he knew. He went to the streets, and then he fell in some stuff,
He fell into a lot of stuff.
He fell into a lot, over and over and over. That's what they call him, Cuddy. So yeah, I think to me,
wanted some Cuddy.
Yeah, to me, that's why the story of Omar is so sad. Is that it's Omar's, obviously his death. But damn, look at the impact he had. Like he was a pillar in the community for good or for worse. And then he dies at the hands of the children that look up to him. The kids that are playing on the street being like, oh, I get to be Omar this time. I get to be Omar this time. They killed him because they didn't respect him.
I feel like the show hits so many highs and lows. It gives you those moments to just sit with. Like Omar, he's not going to do a shooting on Sunday, but he gets taken out by a kid. Just he looks at him first, don't suspect, turns around, like boom. You see Kennard, you don't think you're like, all right, Kennard in the store. You're not. You like this boy went past a couple of steps real quick, like doesn't even know he gonna get the money. Like he just know it's a bounty.
He just shot him. Yeah, he just shot him. He didn't have no other plan. There was no like, okay, I shot him. Now what? He just shot him.
It was just like, oh.
And even had they gave him the money, he's like 9 years old. What was he gonna do with it? Like buy candy? Like what could you want at that time? I mean,
Donut was still in cars, So I mean, Donut had
he was still in cars, yeah.
Donut had a fresh will, you know what I'm saying? He always you could really do every season. Like you could really like all right, what were you thinking? The opening of season, I believe is either 5 or 4 when Snoop is in the hardware store.
Okay, so I'd already seen that scene on Twitter, like just over years of it just going viral, right? There's like stuff like that. And I never knew what the hell was going on. I watched the scene and thought, oh, okay, that's cool. But watching it as a part of the series, when it happened, I was like, oh, I forgot that was coming. So I'm watching the scene, I'm thinking, oh, this is so cool. And I'm just like, because I'm remembering all the times I've seen people like ranting and raving about this season on Twitter and things like that. And then to watch Snoop and the journey and even the hardware that Snoop purchases, to see why she was purchasing it, right? So they could go and board up those houses and hide those zombie bodies in there. I don't know, man. Like that's one of my favorite openings to a season so far because it meant so much. From that moment on, you kind of know what you're in for the rest of the season.
It's like innocent. It's funny. It's endearing. You like Snoop has she's a nice, but she's buying a gun to. It's not like the first. Like they had to think about this idea. Like that means they like this is like their first rodeo to this. They're like, yeah, we did it the old way. This is the new way.
Right.
What scared me was like how many. I know everybody in the hood watched this, John. So how many people in the hood?
The power tool sales went through the roof. Stock went up. Staple gun stock went up. Nail gun stock went up. It's a good point. They, even in the moment, and I haven't really got to talk about this show with anybody. But now that we're talking about it, in the moment, she just hands him a stack of money and was like, "Nah, I'm good," and takes it. I was like, oh, that's really smart considering, you don't want people tracking back the thing to like a receipt or, you at at the checkout line or something like that, and so by doing that, she gets this thing, but it's so small, right? It's such a small detail that if we weren't talking about it, I would have never thought about that, that aspect of it, that she just kind of hands him a stack of money, he takes it, but she gets out basically unscathed. Nobody will ever know that she purchased that from there because she basically wasn't even there. They would have to know which store she bought that from in order to even get like to surveillance cameras and things like that. It would be so hard to find out.
And the only technically thing that they did wrong was use the wrong nails. If they actually used the right nails,
exactly,
they
would have never known. Yeah, they would have never known. There were so many small things. I think that was another thing I liked about The Wire, is that it was the little details that really made me enjoy the show. I think it's Stringer Bell's last words and the cop homie, what's his name? The one that ends up adopted Namond. He when he gets
Buddy.
Yeah, when Bunny gets fired, him and Avon have the same last words. You know, they go out saying the exact same thing. And I'm like, this is crazy. But like in the moment, I noticed it. Like most things of the Wire, like I said, since I've now watched it and like trying my damnedest to stay off of YouTube. But I've read some articles for sure. I'm like, oh damn, I ain't even put all that together. What did you think about Bunny and his arc of going? Yeah, his whole Bunny.
I mean, I feel like I feel like his arc was kind of like the dream arc where you're like Amsterdam. And like anybody that knows anything about The Wire, if you had a Amsterdam shirt, only the people that know Amsterdam would be like, that's a head nod shirt right there.
Right.
And it's like, but you see the experiment, you know, and it's like, but you see the bureaucracy. They're like, we want these numbers, right? But you know the drugs had to be somewhere, right? And it's like, and Amsterdam was a real thing. It was a real thing. But now you see it currently where they do have open area places. They do have public. It's kind of like
he was right.
He was kind of right. He was kind of right. Like you hear like we can get our healthcare services down here, we get everything concentrated down here. We can really, and it's like, well, that does make sense to get the druggies away from the old ladies and put all the resources there. Now it's also bad because you can't just say here, but also it's like they're going to be done somewhere, right? So can we just have an honest conversation about it? Like,
I mean, that's kind of where I landed too. I think is that season 4 where Amsterdam pops up.
I think it may be season 4. Maybe this season 4.
Yeah, it's season 4. So in season 4, that's when I started to disconnect from the show a little bit. But it wasn't because anything the show was doing, like quality wise. It was because it had gotten too real. My background is in social work.
Oh no!
And I've worked in education for a very long time. So for the season 4 to basically be like the school system and social workers, like I'm like, bro, I didn't come here for this. Like, I didn't come here to be attacked. I also didn't come here to see these people stressed out over stuff that we're still fighting today. Like you pointed out, I think Washington State decriminalized a lot of those hard drugs in a way so that obviously it's illegal to distribute drugs and things of that nature, but if you're doing the drugs, rather than arresting you and then letting you go back out into the streets to do drugs or to do drugs in prison, they have systems now where they can help wean you off the drugs. They can provide you with clean syringes and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, that stuff is happening right now. These people back in 2002 had the right idea. Like that stuff that they could have got to, but they too busy calling Bunny crazy. I was so frustrated watching it. I'm like, he's not 100% correct, but he's on the right track. Let him live.
Yeah, when they moved the dead body out of Amsterdam.
Okay, now that's when I'm like, all right, y'all. Like, all right, y'all. All right, y'all. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I mean, but it had those moments of comedy too, where you had these serious moments, but you had moments where we were just laughing, like you can have a whole Herc series. Like if you want to just follow Herc as a cop, just going around doing Herc stuff, you can really just go follow Herc around, just seeing Herc just that whole unit was horrible. You know, like remember they got jumped they went to the projects drunk.
Yeah, like just pulled up at the project. They're like, that does not happen. Like the cops are rolling up over their board. It's crazy.
Like it got rocked. And it's just like, but you see Herc's evolution, and you see Carver's evolution. It's like you see, it's like you see the cops on journeys, and it's hard to appreciate. You can't appreciate Carver season 1.
No, not at all. Actually, Carver, I'm like, come on, get this man. To me, he's the guy from The Walking Dead. Because I watched The Walking Dead before I watched The Wire, so now I can't not see him as like Father Abraham. I think his name is on The Walking Dead, but. Carver's not the cop I want to focus on the most. The most frustrating cop to me, is it Presbolewski? Is that how you say his name?
Presbo.
Let me talk about Prez for a second. Prez killed a black man. Well, killed a black man in cold blood, a cop, right? They cannot determine whether or not this is racism. They're asking the question, like, do you think he's racist? Like, is it implicit? Da, 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 da. They do all of that. He gets fired. He can't work as a cop anymore. It makes total sense. This man murdered a man in cold blood. Only for him to get hired as a teacher to black kids. I was like, what are we doing? Nobody did a background check on this dude. Like, don't get me wrong. Presbo turns out to be a good guy. But what if he wasn't? What if that murder was racially motivated? What if he takes that same energy to that school? That I'm telling you, season 4, I was like, I gotta go. I can't do this. This is frustrating me.
I love how the Wire also just moves on for stuff, like the world moves from stuff.
They acted like he didn't kill a man.
Like it was like they went straight to cover mode. His uncle, his Ross Perot, I forgot whoever is. He came in. He always came in spitting fire, dog. Like he clearly was not productive at his job. Nepotism, like he's everything that you stand up about not being good. He hasn't arrested anybody he didn't arrest one person the whole series, yo. Then they stole his van and kept shipping it around. Like it's just like
I just didn't understand. I was just like, this man killed a man, and like the next job he gets is working at a struggling school district with badass kids that are, I won't say they asking to be harmed, but they go push your buttons. These kids here are the reason why I don't believe in teachers having guns in school, because because these kids gonna talk about you. They might assault you as well, and they were like, okay, that's the guy who we want to teach the children. The press decision, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I haven't dove into the YouTube videos yet, but I need to find somebody asking the same questions I'm asking.
Yo, Prez just built up. Prez is the American story, bro. Like, Prez is the American. He's as American as it comes. He gets his body. He becomes a teacher and he gets exalted up. That's like the Wire is like literally. That's why the Wire is great. Like that just shows you only that can happen in America. Only can you murder a cop, become a teacher, and become a hero.
Yet to see that happen for a black man, but for Prez, it was a realistic possibility. He pretty much leaves the show as a hero. Yes. One of the few people who leave the show as a hero. Honestly,
he has a whole body. You don't even know that cop had a family, kids, nothing.
His kids could have went to that school. Like, you hired this man.
We have a whole lot. That would have been so lit, yo. Kids trying to get revenge on Presbo.
They didn't even. The kids were dragging this man. I was just waiting on them to be like, "What, you gonna shoot us like you shot that dude?" Like, I was waiting on it. Never came out. But the Prez stuff it is an interesting story. It does end in like almost like a happy ending for him, but like at the price of like the story we get about Dookie and some of the other kids. What was your experience watching Dookie and where he ends up?
That was so sad because for me, the way I looked at it was I felt like what the show did was kind of wrap everything up like a cycle. You got Michael's going to be Omar. It's kind of like you just see Dookie's going to be Bubbles. You kind of get to see how this whole thing naming is going to be like a cop. You know how Bunk and Omar went to the same school a couple years apart. Mm-hmm. It's like you see the remnants of this is a cycle, right? And you have Randy just caught up in the system. So you have Naaman who makes it out. You got Mike who wants to, but now he's just robbing folks. He's Omar now. I'm just in it now. I got too many bodies. You got XYZ. You got Naaman, like, you gonna save me, Carver? You don't even. It's like that guy eat all the potential in the world. You know what I'm saying? He's just trying to sell candy, and it was season 4, but it's kind of like for me at that time was just you were like darn, because being closer to being closer to high school age and you see you like, yo, this really is like this is real, like coming from around the community and being of the culture, like this is like how it goes. Like you have people that are smart as I don't know what, but they got circumstances. They can hoop, but they got circumstances, and everybody's like, oh, your bootstraps is different where you at. And this is kind of the Wire kind of just shows you how your bootstraps different where you at, but you can be the son of Weebay and be a debate champion. And his mom was the worst.
Oh God, one
of the worst people ever.
I was trying not to be so hard on her because there's so many awful people around her, but they do a really good job of making you hate Weebay's baby mama. Like, I just like, hey lady, like this kid, his daddy is locked up. he actually could amount to something if you just be the one guiding force in his life. Some of these other kids don't have nothing. They are bouncing from home to home. We saw in season 1, Wallace had like 4 kids living with him. Who knows who those kids are? Like his brothers, who are they? But this man has a mama and they got a little money. They got a little money from the drug game. You got a little bit to rest on. You can get this boy in a good school, probably. You know what I'm saying? And instead,
you want him to be a soldier. He ain't gonna be a soldier.
She wanted him to be a soldier like his daddy. Like we be in jail, like you don't gotta do that,
but that's how it is, though. It's like Tasha in Power is like she wanted Ghost to stay in the game. This is all stuff like this is like I'm like these are stories that like I know. I don't know that many killers or anything like that, but I know these are the things that happen. Where I know if you in the game, you get money. If you deal with a girl that's used to that, and she's like, you can't get that 9 to 5. Like it's not the same. You can't do the same things.
I mean, it's a good point. This is why people sell drugs, because it's quick, easy money, and it's actually not that quick. Them people are on the street corners all day, every day.
And you see these like they clock it in like it's a job. Yo, you late.
Like, they don't got no off days. I ain't never seen nobody take a vacation. I think Michael went to the zoo one time with his little brother or something, and they were like, "Where you been?" He's like, "I can't go to the amusement park real quick with my little brother." Like, nah. So it's fast money, but it doesn't require a lot of like discipline in a conventional way. But you're right, they clocking in, so it's not even that much better. But to them, the faster money, the I guess the less strings attached money is better. And so that was. Yeah, that's the life she was used to. She couldn't imagine going back. First of all, the boy is literally a child. Lady, you need to go to work. You need to go to work. Get off your ass and go to work.
I don't think he's ever had a job. I mean, like, that's a good run to like not have a job. I mean, she only got one kid from WeBay too. Like,
right. She
had one job. Like one job.
I don't blame her. Yeah, like I don't blame her. Nobody dreams of going to work. Nobody wants to do that. I know when WeBay got locked up, she said the money's still coming in, it's cool. And then when the money stopped, she's like, well, either I'm going to work or he going to work. And I'm definitely not going to work. So like she wasn't having it. James, what was your favorite season of The Wire?
Oh my God. I feel like this is always I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna go with 4.
Season 4?
I'm gonna go. The trauma got me, man. I was tearing up when Randy was in that hall crying. Like I can't ignore the tears. I shed when that man was in. They firebombed that sweet old lady's house.
They played Randy so hard. Randy, one of the biggest victims in this show. The cops like, we got you. It's all good. We're gonna take care of you. Next thing you know, this man is basically in prison. He show up and they calling him a snitch in the foster home. I said, oh man, Randy.
They got the paperwork that early. It was that quick. Like they couldn't hold nothing. Randy didn't even hard snitch though. That was the thing. They had the information already. It was just like. But that's also the reason why people don't talk to the cops. It's like,
that's why.
It's like if somebody scary does something, the last thing you're gonna do is talk to the cops, unless you. It's like there's a 50% chance they're gonna find this person. He's already done scary stuff. Like this is what people don't understand that don't be around or haven't been around scary people. It's like you think the cops are like Law and Order. Like you go there, you say, "Hey, this guy is crazy," and they say, "Let's go get him." That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Yeah,
that's not how it works out there.
I got a bad rap as a podcaster for a long time because people thought I was anti-cop. And I'm kind of anti-cop. Not completely, not as much as people think, right? I'm like, my issue is not the people who are police officers, it's the system. And I think a lot of these people in the show for sure are failed by systems, right? The cops can't do their jobs properly on this show because of the way the system is set up. And then you have the people who are being punished because of the way the cops are moving, or the people who are just a part of this system that were born into it, right? They were raised in these street corners. Like it's not their fault that they grew up right here where these drug dealers are prominent, and stuff like that. So watching it, I really had to separate like, all right, in these situations, could you see a world where these people should be talking to the police? And honestly, the answer was no. A lot of times, there was just not a lot of protection for the average citizen when it came to that. And as you said earlier, this wasn't the most competent police department either. So it's like, you want me to count on you? You want me to count on her? The one who got fired, you want me to count on him? You know what I'm saying? How many police commissioners did we go through on this show? 3? And that's the cops that you want us to lean on, so I think that's a very good point. Season 4 for me, like I said, it's tough because it gets
season 4 is trauma. Like season 4 is nothing but trauma. Like you have to like enjoy trauma to like season 4.
Because it's hard because those kids are going through. Season 5, I think, and this might be a hot take. Season 5 might be my least favorite. If it's your favorite, it's a hot take. No, it might be my least favorite season. And I say that because I know a lot of people don't like season 2. But season 5 for me, I just thought it was an odd choice to like all of a sudden now we with the newspaper people. And it's like, had you given us more of the newspaper people prior to this, I would care more. But I just found my eyes glazing over a lot of times when they're in the news. I don't care.
In my heart of hearts, I feel like season 6 was going to be a bridge to the judges season 7. Like season 5, I thought they were going to go to the court system in season 6. That's why I think that, and I thought then we were going to have everything come back together. That's what I thought was going to happen. And then they I mean, this show is so funny for so many reasons because it didn't make any money, and like literally HBO just kept on making it. But it's probably its most critically acclaimed show, and it's like we're talking about all this efficiency stuff. Sometimes you gotta make good shit. Sorry, you have to make good stuff. Like make good television, and people will find it.
Yeah. As far as the good parts of The Wire, like there were so many that it's hard for me to really focus on what I like the most.
That's the part.
Yeah, but I'll defend season 2 a little bit. It's not my favorite season, but the stuff, not so much the docs, that stuff I'm like, but the stuff where Avon is in jail and D is in jail, I love that. I loved all of that. I love all of that. If you could have just made that whole season about that, I'm all in on season 2. But season 1, I think, is my favorite. I think
you can't go wrong with season 1.
Yeah, season 1 or maybe like season 3. I think I just it felt like back home at what I signed up for, right? Like season 2, you take a trip to the docks, but you come back to season 3, you're like, all right, we back home. You know what I'm saying? This is the show. Season 4, I think when you bring in the kids, that adds like another dynamic. But I think do we lose Stringer Bell in season 3? Yep. I think that might be another reason why I really liked it because, like I said, I was rooting on his downfall for a long time. I need to know because I was spoiled because, like I said, I watched it 20 years late. So I knew Wallace was about to die. What was that experience like for you watching Wallace die kind of in the real time?
So I'm trying to figure out, did I know Wallace died? I think I may have heard of Wallace die.
You feel like you already kind of picked it up.
So,
yeah.
But you see it happening, but I think the acting is so good. And when you hear those two characters talk about the scene, like they talk about that scene a lot in a bunch of interviews when we moving forward. It's like you like Wallace looks young. He's not one of those like teenage actors that's old but looks young. Like he's literally like looks like a little kid. Like he exuding that like he was so innocent. Like you can tell, it's like look at his first acting gig. Like he was like literally looking, and those like his older big bros. Like they like his. And when you have older big bros, you can see the emotion in their face. And when I saw that, it was just I feel like you just sat there. You just sat with it. Like it happened. You knew it. You just because he's begging. He's like, please don't. You sit there like maybe there's a way out. Because in your head you thinking like they're not going to do this.
Do that, yeah.
Like Wallace got all these little kids. Like you get this very humane picture of Wallace where you're like, this kid is really taking care of all his little brothers and sisters. Don't know where his parents are. He's responsible as I don't know what. These two guys right here, his older mentors, got him into this, and they took him out, which is it's like the epitome. Yeah, man. That and Carver. You gonna save me, Carver? You gonna save me, Carver? It's like the two spots you were sitting there at the television, like this is sad, and you know this happens. Like it's both things. You like this is sad, you know this happens.
Knowing, first of all, I knew Wallace was gonna die. Let me just get in front of that. But watching it, knowing he was going to die, the whole time I was like, oh yeah, he got to die. Like Wallace, for him to be a child, I extend a lot of grace, but so stupid. So stupid. Everything Wallace did was just,
You
it
know, he
was
was
so
like 12, right?
it was so childlike, right? That's the
He was
problem
13,
though.
though.
And he's moving like a child in a game that's not for kids. You know, they put these kids in this spot because they have minimal consequences. Put them on the streets or whatever. They get arrested, whatever. They do a little juvie or something like that. Like they're not doing no real time for selling drugs at this age. So he's signing up for a big boy job, but he don't have any type of big boy skills. You know, like he's not cut out for this at all. He kind of looking like a little bit like D'Angelo, quite frankly, you know, where it's like, this ain't really the world for you. I just feel like there might be other places we could use your skills. I'd never seen a character like that, just like asking to be murdered so bad. When he goes back to the projects,
it's like he made it out. It's like, bruh, like, no, bruh, like, bruh, stay there, dog. Like, they're not trying to find him outside of Baltimore. They're like, they really just like, all right, bro, he made it out.
All
like,
right, he's a child.
He's a child. If he come back here, he's gonna die like a man. This is what happen.
It's like if Naaman gets adopted by Bunny, goes off to be a debate champion, and then decides, I really miss my friends. You know, like what? Stay your ass over there. Can you stay in the suburb, please? Like, or Michael's little brother decides to come back home. You know, like what? Like you got out, you know? And so, Wallace, it was a tragic death. I was very proud of Michael B. Jordan, the actor. I'm not the biggest fan of his acting ability, but I thought in The Wire, I think he was great. Like, I thought, like, man, this is so believable. But there are just so many characters that just went like that, where it's like the same thing they signed up for is the thing that took them out. Even Bodie, one of my favorite characters, but at the end, I was like, oh, Bodie, you messing up. Like, there were so many obvious moments when I'm like, Bodie, they're going to kill you. And Bodie didn't really care in a weird way. Yeah, like he was kind of fed up, you know, like what else over it.
Do? Like what else am I gonna do?
He's kicking the car and like making a scene and stuff like that. I'm like, they're going to kill Bodie. Now, when they killed him, I was still shocked. You know, like I knew it was coming, but it still hurt.
Killed him, Mike or Snoop? Was it Mike or Snoop?
I thought somebody else. No, Mike killed him. Mike walked up right behind him and shot him, which is crazy because it's like Mike is supposed to be your boy, you know, like that. Yeah. But remember, Bodie killed Wallace, so it's like you can't
with it,
right? You can't do that, and then 5 seasons later be like, oh, I can't believe Michael. Why not? Why not? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm having so much fun talking about this show, but there's really so much to it. I'm dying to jump into all the YouTube theories and stuff like that, and to hear what people say. Yeah, I'm ready.
There's so much stuff like. There's things I'm thinking about like that. I just like it's just random facts that I just know where I'm just like just like how like all right season 2 like the docs like why is season 2 important? Like season 2 is probably hot take. Season 2 makes the series go. Like if you don't have season 2, the series does not go. Now I know why everybody is mad, but there's so much juice in season 2, like from like just it's so good. Like I feel like that's the thing. The nuances are in season 2 where like the passport is being made, like them trying to track down the Greeks, like people trying to get up on like Sergey. Like you knew Sergey met. Did he have teeth? Did he have face? It was not like it's like how drugs can't come in without being shipped in. So how is this working? Like how do you get these drugs in here? And you see the people at the docks are playing the same game that people on the streets is playing. They're trying to finagle the number. They're trying to stay like they're trying to fight off the new machine, the new technology coming in to take their jobs. You know, the same thing that's happening. And it's just like it's so timeless. I think the best part about The Wire is that you can pick it up at any point and start it. Like you did 20, and it still kind of hits.
Yeah, I'll say the moment I finished watching The Wire, my natural instinct was to watch The Wire again. Like immediately. I finished season 5, and my first thought was, let me go back to season 1 because I feel like it's going to make more sense to me now that I've watched it one time, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I feel like The Wire is probably one of those also shows that started the podcast culture. We're like, even at All the Pieces Matter, where they had Jamel Hill and I believe somebody else on the Ringer.
Way down in the hole. It was, I think it was Van Layden.
Van Layden and Jamel Hill, I think. then we'll do and you can literally, if it's not every episode, every 2 episodes, you can do a 20-minute debrief about all the stuff that happens. Because you in the weeds, like, oh shit, Kima got a girl. Oh, like on you like, oh, how does that play out? Like, oh, I mean, like Bunk is married. Like Bunk is like the Bunk stories. Like just
we haven't talked about Bunk enough. We definitely haven't.
Like that's what I'm talking about. Like you could do a whole, like we could really be like, yo, we talking about Bunk for 25-30 minutes. Like we're gonna start episode 1 and like you gonna go through the Omar thing, him trying to keep a cage. I mean, Noty season 5. It's like but it's only 12 episodes each season. How do all these people have these arcs? Like this is like television at its finest. Like Kima has an arc, Bubbles has an arc. Like what show has like 15 people having arcs?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Even the smallest characters, like you talk about, like Bubbles ends up being a huge character, but think about people like Slim Charles. Slim Charles is in the show for the majority of the show. He has very small character moments, but he's always present. And then by the time the show ends, Slim Charles is in charge.
Yeah.
Charles in charge, you know, which is crazy because you're like, how did that happen? And then when you think back, you're like, oh, Slim Charles has been maneuvering this whole time just like everybody else has. You know, he's just been picking his spots in a different way. And that was like, again, that was one of the moments where I was like, damn, I need to watch this again. Because how the hell did Slim Charles? I know I need to go review the tape to find out how he got so good.
I mean, this man was, you gotta look at his politicking, dog. Politic was good. He was a muscle, but he had Avon's respect. He had Stringer respect. He also had the respect of Marlo in him too. Like he's like he was literally like, yo, like he was that guy. Then Slim Charles also, it's funny how he was the confidant of everybody. Like we move on that lie. It's like it's kind of one of that's the quintessential quote. One of the top I guess 20 scenes of The Wire. We're like, yo, we fight on that lie. Avon is like, you know you wrong, but we here now.
Yeah, it don't matter.
And that's where we at now, and just in general. Like we here now. This is where it's at. And Slim Charles he represents that. He took out Cheese, which is, you know, Eric, like when Cheese died, that was great. Like that was a fulfilling death. Like Cheese had to get got.
Yeah, we was waiting on it. We were dying for Cheese to get got. You know, I know some people probably mad that Marlo didn't catch one at the end, but I'll take the Cheese death. It was worth it.
I quietly love Marlo's. I love Marlo at the end. Like I feel like that left the character open. Like, and I think the thing about it is only because David Simon is just David Simon. Any other, there would have been a reboot. There's like the nostalgia for the and most of the character. Well, now they're gone, but the nostalgia for these characters. If it was like modern TV, they went through the bag at David Simon 20. Yeah, they was through the bag at that guy.
Oh yeah. This is like Star Wars level of franchising. If this is 2018, you know what I'm saying? Like we got shows, we got an animated series.
You signed up for the Clay Davis spinoff?
What? Excuse me? Yeah, absolutely. What? Like Suits? You know, like let Clay Davis be she.
Like Clay Davis goes to Congress, dog. Like
yeah, what? I'm there.
Give me Clay Davis in Congress, dog. Like give me Clay Davis in Congress. Give me Carcetti navigating the governorship. Give me these people, bro. Like we didn't talk about Carcetti, dog.
We didn't. We didn't talk about what Littlefinger.
And he two of my favorite characters, bro. Look like
it's the same dude.
like kind of typecast, kind of not. Like you kind of see what. Yo, The Wire gave birth to so many people. Like, then you notice from The Wire how many good actors came from The Wire afterwards. That shows just keep on. HBO is like, nah, we know you. We gonna stay with you. We know we got the goods right here.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I picked a few articles. I've seen like some parallels between, you know, some like the Bush administration that was happening and things like that. And it was all fun and games, like reading it. But I'm definitely gonna just get into some of these videos and some of these deep dives and stuff. Because to me, you know, I'm a Survivor nerd. So I'm watching it, and in some of these moments, I'm like, oh yeah. This is some Survivor type shit. Like it's very Big Brother. It's very Survivor.
Quotes in my Survivor book before I went out
you
there.
Should.
Like literally, like even the Wire
on the lie is real.
In my book.
Yeah, Move on the Lie is real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like that person might have an idol. Let's say they don't. I don't care. I just want them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think in your very season, Cody's like, yeah, she's a salesperson, so that means she's dangerous. While he is a salesperson, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter. I just want her out, you know? So love it. I was like, Sim Charles, the best Survivor player on this cast for sure. Like he's
without a doubt
two-time
the
winner.
best Survivor player on the cast.
Yeah, two-time winner for sure. You know what I'm saying? Bring him back for All Stars. Man, this is such a fun conversation, James. We could probably do this for about 3 hours because we really did dive deep into a lot of the characters. But
well, how about
you
this?
know,
how about you dig into some of like the rabbit holes and we just come back and just talk about whatever you want to talk about when it comes to Wire? Because I haven't even just dig in the holes and let's just revisit it every now and then.
Gotcha. Okay, let me look into that. Also, James, before we wrap, there's something else that you were talking about us potentially talking about. What you watching on Zeus?
Oh, hold up. Love Cabin. Ray J. Yo, all right. So if you made it this long in the podcast, then you're gonna like Love Cabin. So
you're required to watch Love Cabin at that point.
Yeah, we're watching Love Cabin. Now, the first 5 minutes are the most shocking 5 minutes of any love reality TV show I've ever seen. Like the confessionals are memorable, to say the least, of these contestants. So I just look forward to seeing what this. I didn't know I had the Zeus password. I had it and it worked, and I'm still paying the $7.99. Whoever has it, you know who you are. I don't know who you are, but you know who you are.
But thank you.
I'm changing the password on your ass. So, but yeah, it's Love Cabin. It's about 12 strangers going into the woods / house, and they're trying to find love for $100,000. It's like Love Island, but with a cabin and black people.
Okay, sounds good. So maybe we'll check that out too and come back and watch that. But James, in the meantime, what do you got going on in your world?
So I'm tuning into the season of Survivor. I will be popping up at some of the Survivor watch parties that we have going on. If you want to follow me on the gram, I'm probably cooking. It is J to the Jones, like J the number 2 DA Jones. You want to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. That's what I'm doing. I'm really trying to keep my job and talk Survivor. I'm about to gear up to talk Survivor now. Now the season's about to pick back up. They got rid of a lot of the dead weight, and I feel like it's about to go. So I'm joking. Love everybody, but man, you gotta get this thing moving.
James, you got to come on this podcast more. I don't know how I've had this platform for so long. Is this your first appearance?
I feel like it's definitely on my part. I feel like I'm in a good space right now. I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I told you I felt bad about my equipment. I didn't know where I fit in. Now I feel right. But this was great. I had a blast, man. This was fun.
Yeah. What's your niche? Like, aside from the Wire, like if I was gonna have you on regularly, what am I looking for James for? What should I be reaching out to get your commentary?
I'm a consumer of culture. Like I watch almost everything. Like literally, if you like Netflix, like I probably watch most of them on Netflix. Like it's dope. Like pop culture wise, probably anime. Watch a lot of anime. The Korean dramas I watch. Anything sci-fi I watch. Anything political I watch. Like, anything action I watch. Like I literally watch too much television. Is not very good for you. Like if you name a show, I probably have seen it. Like it's kind of how it works. But my niche, I don't know. I guess prestige TV. I kind of like digging in there. Like, give me your task. Give me your prestige television show. I'm game for it. But give me your ratchet stuff. I like Love Cabin. Have you? They Get Afraid is my wheelhouse too. Like
okay.
The big one where they survive and everything is great. Like all that stuff.
XXL. Yeah.
I root for the black people that play. Like
I always do.
I know they're going to lose, but when they don't, I'm just so proud. I feel like they should be our superstars. They're reality TV royalty. Like to be black and fit, naked and afraid. That's like,
yeah. But to be black and apply for Naked and Afraid, I got some questions. James, thank you so much. I'm definitely going to have you back on ASAP. As far as this network goes, we're doing a lot of coverage right now. Mari and I are talking about Interview with the Vampire. We just started season 1 of Interview with the Vampire. We're doing
that's all good.
Yeah, I love that show, and we are going to cover it because season 3 is coming soon. And so
I didn't know they were dropping it. I thought they were done.
No, the Vampire Lestat is coming soon, and so you gotta tune in to that when it drops in 2026. But until then, Mari and I are going to get everybody caught up so that we can do coverage for season 3. You are welcome to join us when season 3 rolls around if you want to jump in on any of that. Then Chantel and I are talking about Flavor of Love season 2. She's never seen Flavor of Love because she's Canadian. and they didn't have VH1 in Canada at the time. And so she is experiencing a lot of Flavor of Love moments for the very first time. She had no clue about the spit. She has no clue about anything. She's gotten spoiled about one thing. I'm a little sad about it. But aside from that, she's new to the universe. And so I'm taking her through Flavor of Love and then probably Charm School and all that other stuff too. So you can catch that here weekly live on YouTube, youtube.com/@recapkickback. And then Gia and I are still talking about Abbott Elementary every week. Every other week, we have 2 episodes of Abbott Elementary to recap. You can subscribe to Abbott Elementary, a post-show recap, or recapkickback.com/subscribe. Or, of course, watch us here on YouTube. But that's it. James, appreciate you so much. Thank you all for listening. If you have any feedback or anything you want us to talk about, let us know here in the comments. But for James and for myself, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. We'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.
I've been trapped behind Swamp Maria, isolated like it's North Korea. Smaller city with some bigger dreams. The wall is cracked, I'm looking in between it. The world is yours, but man, I gotta see it. They say it's hard, but man, I gotta see it. The air I'm breathing can't feel my chest. Wait on life, I wanna hold my breath. I'ma get in my goddamn self.